Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to spend a long session together with a single focus, the 2009 Lincoln 1-cent coin. 2009 was a special year for the Lincoln cent, the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent design, and the U.S. Mint issued 4 different reverse designs that year, each depicting a different chapter of Lincoln's life: his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and his presidency in Washington, D.C. Those 4 small cents are often collected as a set and are commonly referred to as the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial cents. In common collecting language you'll see them referenced by the theme names: birth, formative, professional, and presidency, and they were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for general circulation, and also at San Francisco as proofs and special sets. If you asked specifically about 2009D, that usually means the Denver business strike with a D mint mark. When you say, without mint mark, that typically refers to Philadelphia's business strikes from 2009, which carried no mint mark that year. I'll cover both the D and the no mint mark varieties so you can use whichever you have in your hand. Let's first set the scene for why collectors noticed 2009. The U.S. Mint changed the reverse 4 times, but the obverse kept the familiar Lincoln bust. The different reverses and their historical scenes made everyday pocket change suddenly interesting to many collectors: cheap set potential, educational hooks, and a whole bunch of die varieties and minting quirks that appear when millions of coins are made under new dies. The vast majority of those pennies are still common and trade for face value when circulated, but there are specific grades and error types that bring modest premiums, and a handful of rarities that command serious money when they're authentic and high grade. If you want to turn a single roll of pennies into a story for your viewers, this coin is perfect. You can show history, minting, grading, errors, and market prices all in one long episode. Numbers matter. Roughly speaking, the Denver and Philadelphia mints produced hundreds of millions of these 2009 bicentennial small cents for circulation, far more than would create intrinsic rarity. Price guides list typical circulated values for most 2009 business strike cents at face value, 1 cent, while uncirculated coins in common mint state grades are worth modest premiums. For example, Mississippi 65 pieces from the common production runs often trade in the single-digit to low double-digit dollar range depending on color and eye appeal. Listings of graded Mississippi 65 examples for various 2009 designs show a spread, with some sale listings and auction records in the $10–$60 range for Mississippi 65 to Mississippi 66 pieces depending on the exact variety and whether it's the Philadelphia inaugural, no mint mark, issue or a Denver struck example. That means that unless your coin has an unusual error, special toning, or a high grade, the realistic expectation for value is small, but collectible premiums do exist. Now let's talk about the 4 designs briefly, because collectors love the story behind each design. The birth and early childhood in Kentucky design shows a log cabin representing Lincoln's birthplace. The formative years in Indiana design depicts a young Lincoln reading a book while a farm landscape sits behind him. The professional life in Illinois shows a young adult Lincoln standing with the Illinois state capitol in the background, and the presidency in Washington, D.C. shows the partially restored Capitol as it existed during Lincoln's presidency. Those reverses were used on business strikes and make it easy to assemble a 2009 set by simply checking the reverse. If you're filming, hold each reverse up close to the camera and describe the scene. It connects viewers to the coin's backstory and makes the episode visually richer. Before we move to pricing and grading, a short word on composition and production. Modern pennies after 1982 are primarily zinc with a thin copper plating, weighing 2.5 grams and measuring about 19 millimeters across. That composition matters because it affects how coins wear and how they accept toning. Copper-plated zinc pennies often show different color characteristics compared to older 95% copper cents, and that influences collector preferences such as red RD, red-brown RB, or brown BN designations used by grading services. In videos, point out those color differences and how they change the value. A fully red, brilliant strike Mississippi 65 will be worth more than a brown, worn example. Okay. Value in today's market, in dollars. This part people ask first, so be clear. For circulated 2009 business strikes, the ones most people pull from change, The market value is essentially face value, 1 cent. Price guides and appraisal sites reflect that the bulk of these coins in circulated condition remain common. For uncirculated examples, you'll find modest prices. Typical sale listings and price guides show Mississippi 63 to Mississippi 65 examples commonly selling from roughly $2 to $30 depending on exact design, strike quality, and whether the coin is graded and certified. Mississippi 65 coins can often be found in the $10, $60 ballpark, and some exceptional pieces, special first-day issues, or certified coins with documented provenance can fetch more. For example, you can find buy it now listings of PCGS or NGC graded Mississippi 65 examples in the $15 $60 range for certain 2009 types, while proof and first-day ceremony struck pieces or specialty mint sets sometimes have higher premiums. If you want a simple bracket to tell your viewers, circulated equals 1 cent, raw uncirculated BU examples equals 10 cents $5 typically, certified Mississippi 65 equals roughly $10 $60 depending on variety and market demand. Those ranges reflect current online marketplace activity and auction results. But don't stop there, the interesting money is in errors and varieties. Common error types that collectors chase for 2009 include over mintmark errors, for example, AD struck over AP or vice versa, rotated die errors, double dies, and reverse spacing errors such as a wide spacing in America. Some of these errors are fairly modest in premium. Buyers might pay $10 $100 depending on grade and visibility, while truly dramatic or authenticated double die or unique over mintmark errors can fetch several $100s or more if provenance and grading support it. Always be cautious with error claims. Many listings exaggerate minor die chips or contact marks as rare errors. Your best approach is to photograph suspected errors close and straight on, compare with known error types in specialist references, and if you believe you found a significant die error, have it authenticated and graded. Errors like an obvious rotated die strike or a clear over mintmark can be worth a premium. Smaller, blunt die chips usually are not. Here's a practical grading primer to say on camera, useful for viewers who want to determine value without a grading submission. First, check for wear on high points. Lincoln's hair and cheek are stress points on the obverse, and the high details on the chosen reverse design vary by the scene. If those high points show flattening or loss of detail, the coin is circulated. Examine the rim and fields for contact marks. Modern cents that are uncirculated still may have bag marks or contact abrasions that reduce value. Color matters. Full red surfaces road command higher premiums than brown BN coins. Strike strength is also important. Some 2009 dies produced weak strikes on certain devices, and collectors prize strong, well-struck examples. If your coin has full mint red color and crisp detail and no evidence of handling, it might be a candidate for grading. If you're filming, show close macro shots that highlight these features. Grading services like PCGS and NGC will give specific road RB/BN designations on the label for modern copper-plated zinc cents, and that influences the resale price. Next, advice for detecting and documenting errors or premium varieties on camera. Use direct overhead lighting and a magnifier or macro lens so viewers see any double die crack, or over mintmark clearly. Photograph both sides, and include scale and a ruler for size context. If the mintmark looks unusual, compare it to known mintmark styles from Denver and Philadelphia for 2009. Often an extra mintmark is actually a post-mint abrasion or a grease-filled die artifact. A true over mintmark will show characteristics of two distinct strikes. Also be aware of mint sets and first-day ceremony issues. The mint sold special sets and early release coins that carry FDI, first-day cachets or separate packaging that can add a small premium. When you spot something that looks unusual, search auction archives and specialist forums before claiming discovery. Many supposed rarities have been debunked online. Now, a bit of market psychology and timing for your viewers. Modern small cents are everywhere and their values are driven by collector interest rather than metal. As a result, general market demand and online listing behavior shape prices more than scarcity. You'll see opportunistic sellers listing rolls or lots at inflated prices after a news cycle, and you'll see occasional spikes when a graded high-end example becomes the subject of auction attention. For realistic selling advice, for most raw ungraded 2009 business strikes, Selling locally or in lots will attract face value buyers. For higher value specimens, get the coin graded and auctioned or sold to a specialist dealer. If you have a suspected error worth tens or hundreds of dollars, getting PCGS, NGC, ANACS authentication will typically increase buyer confidence and price. In short, small rare premiums exist, but don't overvalue common examples when explaining to beginners. Let's go practical. How to hunt for valuable 2009 cents in circulation or rolls. First, when you open a roll of pennies, check every reverse for the 4 designs. You might complete a set just from a few rolls. Second, learn the error signatures. Doubled die errors show clear doubling on letters or date. Rotated dies show the obverse or reverse turned relative to the other, and over mintmark errors show layering of mintmarks. Third, check for unusual toning and color. Sometimes a nice red-brown pattern or an attractive rainbow toning on a zinc cent can draw collectors willing to pay a premium for eye appeal. Fourth, if you find a coin that looks suspect, photograph it with a macro lens and post to a reputable coin forum or consult a local dealer before spending on grading fees. Quick community feedback can save money. For roll hunting, concentrate on rolls from banks that receive high coin traffic like grocery or transit operators. Sometimes circulated rolls from these sources yield fresh BU coins. When you're on camera, show your viewers the exact steps you take to inspect coins in natural light and with magnification. That makes your episode practical and usable. Now a segment collectors love: auction anecdotes and interesting sales. While most 2009 cents are inexpensive, there are documented auction records for exceptional pieces. Proof or specially struck. Presentation coins, extremely high-grade Mississippi 67 or Mississippi 68 examples, and dramatically rare error coins have fetched hundreds or even thousands at specialty auctions. A single exceptional graded specimen with a dramatic doubling or unique die crack and strong red color can suddenly jump in value. Auction houses will sometimes record a dramatic sale and that can raise interest for weeks. That said, treat single headline sales as outliers. They do not change the market for the many thousands of ordinary 2009 pennies. Use auction sales to add human interest in the video. Show screenshots with citation of a notable auction result and explain why that coin was extraordinary. Storage, handling, and listing tips. If you want to keep a coin's value, handle it only with clean gloves or by the rim. Store in inert holders like Mylar flips, and keep graded eligible coins in acid-free capsules out of direct sunlight. For selling online, include multiple clear photos, mention obverse, reverse and mintmark, list the grade if certified, and disclose any cleaning or damage because buyers expect transparency. Price competitively. Check completed eBay listings and auction archives to set realistic expectations. If you're listing a suspected error, present high-resolution images and offer a return policy pending third-party authentication. That increases buyer confidence. Mention shipping and insurance for higher-value coins and always track shipments. Technical minting notes your more advanced viewers will appreciate. 2009 dies were new for each reverse, and with new dies you often get hubbing anomalies, doubled hub impressions, or die polishing marks that show up as varieties. Also, because mintages were large, the chance of finding a full red coin in circulation is lower. Uncirculated examples held in mint sets or preserved by collectors are likelier to show full red surfaces. The difference between a raw uncirculated coin and a certified Mississippi 65 can be substantial, not because one is very rare, but because collectors prize the assurance of grade and color designation. Explain to viewers that certification both authenticates and standardizes the condition, which is why many buyers prefer certified pieces. It reduces uncertainty. If you're teaching viewers how to evaluate whether a coin is worth grading, give them a checklist: strong strike, full red color if they want road premiums, minimal contact marks in the fields, attractive eye appeal, and no obvious cleaning or damage. If a coin clears those boxes, check recent sale prices for the same date, design, grade, and calculate whether the expected sale price exceeds grading fees plus shipping. For modern pennies, grading fees can sometimes exceed the expected premium, so only submit when you have a reasonable chance at a price jump. Also consider slab courtesy labels such as first day of issue sets. They sometimes add collector interest but are not a universal value multiplier. A few quick myths to dispel for your viewers. 1. All 2009 pennies are worth money now that the mint changed designs. Not true for circulated coins. 2. No mint mark means rare. Not true for 2009 Philadelphia cents. The no mint mark Philadelphia pieces were produced in large numbers. 3. Any discoloration is an error. Often discoloration is post-mint toning or environmental staining, not a minting error. Teach viewers how to recognize genuine mint errors versus post-production damage. Now let's bring the values together into simple on-camera talking points so your audience remembers the essentials. 1. Most 2009 business strikes in circulation equals face value, 1 cent. 2. Raw uncirculated BU examples are collectible but typically trade in single dollar or low double-digit ranges depending on strike and color. 3. Graded Mississippi 65 pieces commonly sell for roughly $10 $60 depending on exact design and color. Check market listings, and exceptional graded rarities or certified errors can sell for more. 4. Errors to watch for: over mintmark, double die, rotated dies, and reverse spacing issues. These are where premiums come from, but authentication is essential. Use those 4 bullet points as your viewers' takeaway and repeat them slowly near the end of the video so beginners don't miss the practical summary. If you want to make the episode interactive, include a section where viewers submit photos of their 2009 cents and you review them in future videos. That drives engagement and gives you content for follow-ups. Offer to pick a few viewers each week to evaluate live, and teach them the grading checklist on camera. For monetization-friendly advice, remind viewers that short, demonstrative cuts showing how to check for doubling, mint marks, and color will increase watch time and subscriber interaction. You can also produce short chapters later for value check, clips that can be repurposed to shorts or Instagram snippets. This single long video can be repackaged into dozens of micro videos once you have the footage. Closing practical demo. If you have a 2009D or a 2009 with no mint mark, show the coin, describe the reverse scene, note the mint mark or lack thereof, check color and strike under magnification, and give a quick on-camera estimate of value using the ranges I mentioned. If you film this demo slowly and clearly, viewers will understand both how to assess their own coins and how realistic the market is. Encourage them to post pictures in the comments or tag you on social media for a free quick opinion. Offer a small disclaimer. For legal reasons, note that on-camera appraisals are informal and that professional authentication is recommended for anything you think could be worth more than a few tens of dollars. Finally, a short producer's note for pacing the 90 minutes. Read the narration at a conversational pace, include multiple close-ups and slow pans of each reverse, pause for 5 to 10 seconds after each detailed technical explanation so editors can add callouts or on-screen text, and intersperse short viewer Q&A or live check segments every 12 to 15 minutes to break up the content and keep attention high. End the episode with a strong call to action. Ask viewers to like, subscribe, and share their own 2009 cent stories or photos. Offer a preview of the next video, perhaps a roll hunt livestream or a deep dive into a specific 2009 error type, to keep people coming back. That's everything I've prepared for you in one continuous narration about the 2009 Lincoln 1 cent, covering Denver, D, and Philadelphia no mint mark examples, condition, grading, errors, and realistic market values in dollars based on recent listings and price guides. If you want, I can now 1. Convert this into a timed script with timestamps so you know where to pause for B-roll. 2. Expand any technical portion into a standalone deep dive for a follow-up video. Or 3. Create on-screen text for key value ranges and the grading checklist that you can overlay during editing. Which of those would you like?